So, good evening, ladies and gerbils. So, yes, tonight, as you can see, this is not my normal kind of instrument. However, in some ways, it is. And we'll be able to do a comparison with something similar. So, let's have a listen to it. I'll tell you what I can. Let's go. So, what we have is a Barnes and Mullins banjo, and thank you ever so much to Simon for letting me have a go and twanging his banjo strings. And this is an absolutely fabulous, fabulous instrument. Barnes and Mullins are they actually started in business around the 1900 mark, and they were from down south, Bristol and Dorset way. So the blurb tells me. And this is a really, really nicely constructed instrument. So on the back here, we have 6 Wilkinson Goto style tuners, which are excellent. And you've got a set of 9042 gauge regular guitar strings, and it's a regular guitar tuning. So for any of us guitarists who fancy getting into the banjo sound, this is a great way to start. And I do have another banjo that was actually made around 1900 that I can do a little comparison with for you. So yes, I've got a 120-year-old banjo that belonged to my great-granddad, no less. So onto this Barnes and Mullins, fabulous, fabulous thing that it is. All mahogany body construction, all mahogany neck. Whether that is a set neck or if it's actually screwed in behind the body, I don't know, because I'm not taking it apart. It ain't mine, and it's not coming for work. So that is, well, you know, we can never guess about that, can't we? So you've got a resonator body, as you can see. This, you know, it's like a thin snare drum, isn't it? And of course, you've got very, very much like a snare drum skin here. Holding the strings in place at the bottom, we have a trapeze style, well, it is a trapeze tailpiece, and I believe that this bridge is what they call a banjo mute bridge, which will actually reduce some of the resonance, and it will also reduce the volume by around 20 decibels, which to me seems quite astonishing. You do have, you've got 19 frets here, and you do have proper mother of pearl dot inlays, and it is a lovely, lovely thing. The other really cool thing about this, of course, is that it has got, as you can see, there's a truss rod cover here, which indicates to me that there's a truss rod in there, so there will be indeed. You've got this chrome armrest, which is, so if you've got these on a strap, which, as you see, I had, there's an awful lot of neck droop, but I'm sure that you could relocate the strap buttons to somewhere that would eliminate that difficulty. But what I did was just applied a little, and not a lot, just a little pressure to the armrest to keep it steady and stable. So we've got a bound neck. What the nut is made of, I don't know. It's probably plastic. Could be bone, I don't know. But yeah, so for us guitarists, this just plays like a regular guitar with the banjo sound, and it's fabulous. I really, really like it. And I don't think that these are that expensive. I think, did I see them in, was it GAK for $2.89 or something like that? But for an instrument of this build quality and also material quality, I think that that is not expensive. You know, it's probably a bit of a niche market. So let's have a look at something really old and compare the differences. This is a Windsor G banjo, as memory serves, the Windsor Ideal model it's called, and as I say, this is 120 years old. The nut is certainly bone. Let's have a look at the two of them next to each other. So, as you can see, the immediate differences are that this has a much smaller, the owned one has a much smaller body, it doesn't have a resonator body, and it has a much thinner neck. In these days, when these were made, there were no, well, I don't think anyway, there were no truss rods, and truss rods really didn't come in until, you know, sort of early mid-50s as a standard feature. Now, you also have, as you can see, there's one of the tuning pegs missing, but you also have 6 tuning pegs on this. I just want to show you, I'm going to put this down for a moment, I just want to show you what this is all about. So, you had 5 regular banjo strings, and you will see here on the 5th fret that there's a tiny brass inlay hole. And what this does is it acts as a sympathetic string that only hits the fretboard from fret 5 upward. So you put the string on this peg here, you thread it through a hole inside the headstock, and it comes out of this little hole here, and it obviously, you know, covers the rest of the instrument, and it acts as a sympathetic drone string, and you know, that's just how they're made. Can you see that, the Windsor thing? And there's a plate on the back as well that you may be able to see some information on there. The back of this is not original. It had just been lost. Do you know what? I've even got the case for it. It's in a bit of a state, but it'll fix, obviously. And so, and I think that this is a bolt-on neck. Speaking of bolt-on Bolton, that was actually where great-granddad came from. So, there we go. That's your 1920 Windsor, whatever it's called, Windsor banjo. So, there you go, that's interesting. And that, really, folks, is it from me and the banjo and the cheeky midweeker. So, I'll see you at the weekend. Oh, the weekend. I've got something nice coming up for you. I bet you can guess what make it is already. This should be very special. Well, nice guitar anyhow. So, thanks all ever so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the weekend. Take care, my friends. Adios, amigos, and I'll see you soon. Ta-ra.